Hey guys, so today we're doing a video all about my top brow products. I'm gonna actually do mine with you. I haven't done anything to them today, other than just kind of like, you know, so they didn't look too crazy. They're in pretty good shape right now. There's not like any like major weirdness going on. And honestly, most days, I don't really do a whole lot to them, but since I do have darker brows, if I do my makeup, I feel like sometimes it looks unfinished. It definitely looks unfinished if I don't do them because they're so dark and you can see like little, you know what I mean? Like little, like where the skin's showing through. So for me, I like to soften them up. Now, I don't tweeze them. I don't do it, like I think it's because I've tweezed them for so many years. Like they've always had a good shape right here. I did tweeze them in the middle some. I wish I hadn't tweezed them so far, but it doesn't grow anyways. And you know, like when your brows kind of stop, they start kind of going like that. They kind of do that right there. So I don't think they would, I don't know. But I do like my brows, but I definitely think that you can make them a lot better. And my whole thing is I like to soften mine. I like them to look softer. But I thought we would just kind of play because I have so many new brow products. All of these new benefit things are seriously out of control. I mean, there's so many things. And I didn't want this to be like a review video where I just went through and talked about things that I made. I've been using all these and I thought I'm just gonna show what I like and what I've been using. I mean, I'm just not big on doing like reviews for no reason, you know? I like to really talk about things that I like. So, okay, I've got so many products. So I'll tell you kind of like my daily, like my go-to things. And then we're gonna try out some of these new weird products. One product I have not used yet at all, and it is this Benefit Brow Conditioning Primer. Now, Benefit has this whole new line, fairly new, that's not Benefit, that is Anastasia. Fairly new of, you know, all of these cutesy little brow things, and they all have this new packaging, which is really fun and nice. And to be honest with you, most of the things I've tried I've really liked. I like the shade range. It seems like they're in like numerical shades, and I'm shade 2 for most everything. So I want to try this because I've never used it. It's a brow conditioning primer, nutrient rich primer for fuller looking brows. So maybe if you have like really thin brows, see, I haven't used this one at all. This is the one product I have not tried. And I don't know, it's just something that I haven't really been like excited to use. But I thought, let me tap it off a little. I thought whatever, we'll use it together. So you gotta do that little. You know what I think this would be good for? Because it kind of makes them wet, and that's what I try to avoid because my eyebrows will look like they are like slick, you know, gelled, not good. I like mine to look really soft. So that's why I've kind of been staying away from this. We'll see what it does. We'll just use it on that eye. What I'm thinking this is going to be good for is if you use like powder products, because maybe it would help like catch it. I don't know, but it doesn't, wow, it doesn't feel wet. Definitely not what I expected. Okay, so, oh no, it doesn't feel crunchy, it doesn't feel wet. Not sure quite yet about that, but there's a lot of different things that you can use. So if you want to just like, with me, I like to fill in just small areas sometimes. My go-to for years has been the Anastasia Brow Wiz, very like small pencil. I use the taupe shade. It's one of those that has a little spoolie on the end, and it has a very like, almost like you can create just little hairs, you know? These I've used for years. I've shown in videos a ton, and I don't want to like keep showing that all the time. And Benefit also, if you like that and you want to try something different, they have the one called Precisely My Brow Pencil. And it's the double-ended thing, you know, you get the spoolie, and it's the same exact kind of deal. And the shade 2 is very similar to taupe if you're similar in color to me. I always say go lighter with your brow colors, lighter than you think. I don't feel anything really different about that brow. Don't know. So those are two pencils that I really like. We're gonna kind of go through this quickly. This has been my go-to, the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Brow in shade 20. Now, tons of brands make the Hourglass makes ones, you know, Hourglass makes ones that look like this. Benefit has a new one that looks like this, but for some reason, this shade, which is shade 20, is just perfect for me. And it's kind of shaped perfectly to get like right there. and this is what I do with it. You see how I just kind of created that middle part? This video is just gonna kind of be whatever. Like, let's just do brows. Let's just talk about brow stuff. It's not like, just kind of whatever. And you see how just soft it is? And I have a scar on this eyebrow, so I can fill it in really easily. I can go around the top, and you know, that's just kind of what this does. And then when you're done, and of course, like I go around and do the whole thing, you can kind of blend it out. You know, I kind of like the way that conditioner made it feel. It dried almost instantly. Maybe it just keeps your brows in better condition. I don't notice them looking like fuller or anything, because my brows aren't super sparse anyways, so maybe that's not like really effective for me, but I'm gonna try it. Oh, it's called Bravo. Yeah, I think it said brow conditioning primer. Bravo. That's cute. And then this is the one that is similar to that. This one's called the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. And I will say that these that are kind of flatter, they're easy. They really are. They're easy to use. And this one is like basically the same tone as that one. I can't really tell much of a difference. I've used this for several days, and honestly, I can't tell a difference between the staying power or anything between this and the Makeup Forever. So if you're wanting to try it, it's pretty simple. And then you see I have that scar, which I kind of already covered, but these that are big like this are really easy. You know, and I never thought that I would kind of go away from my brow wiz, but these that are shaped like this, they really, really are nice, especially if you're not trying, I don't know, like, okay, if you're trying to fill in a larger area, these would be good. Like if you have really like thin brows and you're trying just to, because I could see where the brow wiz might be a little harsh sometimes. Like you have to draw a little, you know, could look kind of like individual hairs, which is good, but for me, I always like the brow wiz because I can get into those little spots, but then I always really had to soften it out a lot with the little spoolie. So this is cool. I really like the Benefit one. I can't say which one I really prefer because they're exactly the same, and I feel like the wear is exactly the same. Like I said, I've tried that a lot. Okay, and then those are those types of products, like pencils. I'm really not into the sharpening brow pencils that you have to sharpen yourself because they make these, and why even frickin' bother? If you want a real sharp one, get one of these guys. If you want one that always keeps its shape, because it always keeps that long shape, but is a bit softer and larger, covers a bigger area, try one of these. Now, another thing, I'm gonna get into like gels and color and stuff like that in a minute. A long time ago, I did mention these. They're the, this is the Ico Brow Liner Shape and Find. I don't even know, sometimes the Ico stuff can be a bit hard to find, and I haven't seen a whole lot of actual brow liner pens. And I gotta say, I really did like this because it's kind of like almost, it's like a color that will not go away. So if you have like a big scar or something, I always loved using it right there, like in the middle, you know, because it would not come off. And the color is really good. I don't know what color it is. I think it's just like the one color they have, I don't know, but it says it's waterproof. For me, it's a bit harsh to go around the edges because it's like a liquid, so it's not gonna blend out or be as soft as a pencil or powder. Next, I know I'm like not finishing this brow. I'm just kind of, I wanna have like plenty of space to try everything. Because I wanna do this one completely like with one of these gel ones. Or maybe I'll do it with one of like the quick, okay, I feel you, I got this. I got this. Okay, so I've always really loved these. Sigma makes excellent brow powders as well, but the Anastasia ones I've always just used for years. I even had that brow palette for a while. This is the medium brown, and this is the shade that I like. So for an actual brow powder, I like to use an angled brush that is a bit stiffer. You know, some of them, like, okay, like this one, this is my Tarte one. This is the one I like to use for gels, like in the pot. It's a little, it has more give. A brush like this is the E15 by Sigma. Not even my favorite for, I mean, yeah, I could use it for a powder. It's just, I don't know. These, I think if you've got really sparse, soft brows and you're trying to darken it up, that's what these flatter brushes are great for. But for me, I'm not really like getting it into the middle a whole lot. This is the E75 by Sigma 2, and yeah, I used to really be into powders for my brows just because it's really soft, and this is just the perfect color. With this one, I feel like with powders, I do have to work just a little bit longer. You can always make that look so natural right there with a powder. And then this right here is where I always like really kind of go to town, because I like it to look like a smooth arch, you know? And when you've got dark hair, you can see like every little dark, and then if it has like a tiny little gap, it makes it look like you've butchered your eyebrows, even if you like haven't even touched them. Okay, so sorry, I'm a little stuffy. I'm kind of like, today, if I sound a little scratchy. So then, yeah, I kind of darken that up. And powders are just great. So I kind of like the powder with this brow conditioning primer. Not that that's still like wet or anything, because it really was soft and dried really quickly, but powders, I think if you apply it, like say you use a wax product, which I never really do that, and you put the clear wax on before you apply your powder, the powder really grabs onto the hairs and makes the hairs look thicker. So I feel kind of like that's what it did without feeling waxy. So you see how that looks just like really smooth and soft? And then you can even like use the lighter color if you really wanted to kind of, you know, go around without making it look too crazy. But I do like powders, that's really pretty. And then you can, you know, smooth it. Now one thing I will say, and this is the only powder I'm gonna show you. Over the years, I have really always kind of pushed this rather than buying a brush that has a spoolie or spending money on, you know, a brush that just looked like this. I like these that are double-sided. I do think that's convenient, but definitely go to Sally's, or I think, you know, Mac sells, are these the Mac ones? No. I think I got these at Sally's like 5 years ago. Like I got a giant thing of them and I've still got a ton. Like they're gonna last me forever, and they were probably like $5. So this is the best tool. I use them for mascara, so I keep one like in my little mascara section to smooth my mascara. I keep one always in my like vanity area of my bathroom to kind of comb my brows in the morning and at night. Sometimes, like I said, most of the time I don't do a lot to my brows anyways. And then also when you're doing brow products, this is just so great. And then you can just not feel bad about trading them out every now and then, because they're disposable, but you get like 100 in a pack, so you'll be good the rest of your life. Okay, so you can see that makes a good difference, right? So brows are a big deal. Okay, so with like gels, pots, you know, the Anastasia Dip Brow is that right? Is that what it's called? That was like a really good one that came out that was really popular right away for everyone. And I'll be honest with you, I used them for a while, and for me, I just like a softer look, and I think with those types of products where the color is really like, you know, with a pencil, I think you can kind of get away with like smudging it a little more. You really have to get the color just right with these pots. But there are really, really good alternatives if you can't find your exact shade, which I always kind of had a hard time with that line. But the Tarte, the Amazonian Clay, the Ash Blonde is really good for me. The MAC True Brunette I've used a couple times. And honestly, like, I mean, who would even go through this? Like, I use this a ton, and like, I feel like it's just, like you have to use the tiniest bit. This is good, almost a hair too dark, but I will say that these are very, very good, and they hold up really well. So this is the other one that I guess we'll talk about. It's the Cream Gel Brow Color with Brush by Benefit, and it's in the same little packaging, and the brush is in the top, and it's super adorable. And then you find the little product underneath. So this color for me, I don't know, the shade 2 that they have is pretty freaking perfect. Okay, so what I do is this brow isn't as bad as the other one, like it doesn't have a scar or anything weird. See, I would kind of go and do that first. See, I gotta fix that. Okay, so with a gel like this, I think kind of like less is more. So I kind of make sure that the brush doesn't have a ton on it. And I do the, you know, like areas that really need it. You know, if that looked really sparse under there, looked like a gap or something, I'd use that with what is like the most on the brush. And then I go around the top, and you can keep dipping, but just be like very careful. You know, like don't get too much on it or it's gonna look crazy. And then, you know, so you go around. And you know, I've seen people that are like, and they're like really drawing it on. That's cool too. That's cool too. That's just not like what I just don't like to do that. And then I know I just like dipped it again, but you can kind of wipe it off. And then with whatever's left on the brush, you can kind of get that middle part, because that needs to be for me, like the less color. Like the most color needs to be kind of in the middle, maybe like right along like the arch right here. Like the middle, I mean like of the brow, not like this way. And then this inner part needs to be the lightest. So I think this is the best matched product, and it's not super wet and like jelly either, which I love. And then that doesn't come with a spoolie or anything, so you can take a spoolie, and I still always have to smooth it out. Now, you know, and like soften it up a bit, but you do have to be careful with products and pots like that because sometimes they don't set as quickly. Like a pencil is, you know, pretty instant, but it still smudges and has some give, but this has to dry a little bit. So when you go in with your, you know, you might get it a little wet and then end up smudging it like up where you don't need to. So you can kind of see that's really pretty too. I just feel like for me, I get a smoother result with a eyeshadow because I can really like go in and do it smooth, and I know the color looks soft. Whereas with a product like in a pot, like a gel product or anything, or a cream, if you do like get it really smooth, it looks like a drawn on line, and then you still have to smudge it out a little bit, and then the smoothness is gone. So I feel like I get the best result, and that's the same with a pencil too. Same, you know, it's gonna look a little more harsh and you have to smooth it out. But look, you can do an eyeshadow and it just is so soft. So yeah, if you wanted like a real smooth look, I'm still just like old school, all about eyeshadows, or powders, I mean. Now some days, this is really cool. Should I wipe off what's on this brow? I kind of want to so I can show you. See, like there's not a huge difference. I honestly think this one looks better. And yeah, I use a little bit of pencil and powder, but you know, I kind of mixed it up. But I think pencils and shadows, you can get kind of the most like accurate, you know, you can get it a little more accurate. Now I know I'm not gonna get like every bit of this off, but I just want to get the eyebrow looking a little crappy so you can see what I'm gonna do next, because these products are really cool if you're like on the go or you're just really quick in the morning trying to get ready. Benefit has a brush too, you know. But I always use that little MAC, or what is it, Sigma one. Okay, so the eyebrow doesn't look bad, but if you're getting ready quickly in the morning and you don't want to fool with all those things, you can do a gel, like a tinted gel. And this is the coolest, well, these two are pretty cool. So Benefit has had a product for a while called Gimme Brow, and you know, they've repackaged it. Has a tiny little spoolie, so it actually is small enough to like wow, do you see that? It kind of like softened that in the middle. Like for this area over here where I have the scar, it can just perfectly cover that. And then you can just kind of be very careful on the middle. You're not gonna get like a perfect line or anything on the outside, but this is a way to fill them in. Not necessarily to do what I did like with the eyeshadow. And then also this is one of my favorites, and this was actually in the shade 3. Okay, wow. So this was shade 3. Maybe I needed shade 2. But I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so the Tarte one that I have is in taupe, and this is the Amazonian Clay Tinted Brow Gel, and I've showed you guys this over the years a lot too. This one's a bit lighter. This one I can kind of use the tip of it, and, well, I kind of messed up there, but you can kind of like make that little, you know, you can kind of draw it toward the middle. You can really kind of get it along the outer edge because of the shade. The shade's right. So if, you know, you can do that with any of them if the shade's right for you. Wow, I went really far in on that. This product is awesome though. What happened? What's going on? Ugh. This is really neat. So this is by Benefit too, and it's called the 3D Brow Tones, and it says Subtle Brow Enhancing Highlight, and this is in shade 2. But to me, this really fills in well, because it's got this little brush, and then I don't know if you could see, but right at the tip of the brush, it's got this little like sharp, you know, line where you can actually go around the edges, and it kind of like, it fills. So for me, I feel like the brow, what's it called? I feel like the Gimme Brow is more for like filling in spots, you know, like in the middle and stuff. This one though, like dark spots, like look, I filled in that with a little tip. Let me see. Like, look, I can really kind of create this. See? It's because it's a shade, you know, like I said, go a shade lighter. If you were doing this with a dark color, it would look insane. You can make that look real smooth along the edge. So I really feel like this one you can do a lot more with. I feel like this brow is getting kind of out of control. But I do feel like this one, the one called 3D Brow Tones, I feel like you can just make your brows look better with that. It was just so smudgy from earlier, or maybe I just did that, I don't know. But you can really like get it filled in just with the gel, which is, I think, pretty cool. So yeah, they look a tiny bit different, but they're still both soft. They don't look like I've drawn on brows, hopefully. And I just think it's really cool. Now, as far as like brow gels go, I'm not super picky. I'm not gonna say like there's only one type you can get. Like lately I've been using the MAC Brow Set in Clear, which is totally great. It does make my brows look a little wet though. My all-time favorite is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I've just gone through a ton of these. I like the way the spoolie shaped. You know, that matters to me. I like the way that it like really sets your brows, which is important for me because even if I don't wear anything, I always, right here's my trouble area because my brows will start like curling down, you know, so I like to have that. So when I'm done, you know, I'll put that on. Don't necessarily need to do it if you've used like a tinted product. I still like to do it though because I'm not like gooping on the tinted product to like keep it in place. But then Benefit also has one too. This one holds really well, but it's very wet. Maybe it's because it's more new, but it's the Ready Set Brow, and this is in Clear. And the wand is very unique. See, it's flat, but then it's like a comb. So I'll do this one with that. Yeah, so it feels a little wetter. I do love that it holds really well. It's just a little more precise. But I will say, I think out of all of them, I do prefer the Anastasia Brow Gel. Now, I know I've mentioned these little pencils a lot, like, you know, the little ones that you put up under your brow. You can use, like the Benefit has the one, like I said, that they have changed, so I hate to even really talk about it. The Highbrow, they definitely changed to go into this collection. It's just not the same. I talked about that in a recent video I showed you guys. You can get the Anastasia ones. They come in different colors. This is the Camille one, which would be, I think, for it's a little dark for me, but I just wanted to show you guys. And then the end has a really pretty kind of shimmery side, which most of the time, like, okay, like this one, even though the Camille side is kind of too dark for me, the shimmery side is just perfect because it just looks bright and pretty without like being too frosted and gross. You can even use it like on the inner corner. But recently I ordered one by, is it Trish McAvoy? That is the pink pencil. I cannot wait to get that one because I really do like using those. And let me think about anything else. Yeah, I talked about the fat pencils and everything like these that are a little more angled, but there are ones that are even fatter, and these are really hard for me because my brows, like I kind of said, it's a little different. If you've got like really kind of soft, larger brows that you really want to darken up in the middle, these would be phenomenal. They are the MAC, what are they called exactly? Big Brow Pencils. And it's in I have Lingering and Cork. Yeah, so for me, like, I really kind of need to just go around mine and barely fill in, but this would be so perfect if you really were gonna fill in the middle of them. I don't know if you guys remember, but Lingering was one of the very first brow pencils that I ever used, the MAC Eyebrows, which is very, very similar to the Brow Wiz. So if you want a MAC product, try the Lingering if your brows are similar to mine. Gosh, I repurchased that like a million times. Those are so good. And then as far as tools, I've kind of talked about them here and there. My very favorite tweezers are these that are from the drugstore. They're by Beauty 360. I think it's just, is it CVS that you can get these? I'll link to them below. But they're just very good. They're very sharp. You know, I've had all kinds of tweezers over the years, but these stay really, really sharp. They've got a really sharp end and then a flat end. And then this is kind of cool too. I wanted to show you guys, Benefit actually, as a part of this new collection, they have tweezers that have a little brush. So I think that's adorable. So yeah, brows do make a difference. And when I look at these, I do see subtle differences. But I think it's really cool that you can get this result from a tinted gel. So definitely try this one, the 3D Brow Tones. I would say this is better than the Gimme Brow. I just don't see why I would need that other little one with this one. But yeah, so good. And you know, try some different things. I really had crappy brows for so many years, and I know they're not perfect or anything, but I really just had no idea what to do with them. They were over tweezed. I thought they were too dark to really fill in. Anytime I'd had them filled in by anyone, I looked like an insane person. So go lighter with the color. If you feel like they look painted on whenever you do them, get a lighter color. Even if you're like me and you would never consider this to be like blonde eyebrows, because my eyebrows are really dark, like the actual hairs. Get a blonde shade, get a shade that says taupe, get a lighter shade, you know, just try to make it work because it does make such a big difference. And hopefully you saw some things that you were curious about. Maybe you wanted, you know, to see in action or to see my opinion on, because I have been talking about these benefit things for a long time. I'm really excited to finally share them with you guys. So yeah, anything else that I'm wearing makeup wise and stuff, I will link below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today. As always, I really enjoy the time that we spend together here, and really happy that you guys take time to watch my videos. So love you guys so much. I will talk to you very soon. Bye.